okay, I don't want to just preach to the choir, okay? I want the choir to support my movies, but I want to touch those out there that are hurting. People out there that have hate and anger in their lives. People out there that have, we all have problems, but
Hmm.
you're not going to please everybody. Hey, Kate,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
All right. I
Awesome.
met you back in 2002 on the set of Andromeda.
Were you up there?
I was up there.
Oh my gosh, I know your name and know you, but I mean, I can't remember that far back.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
we were both working. I made a joke that we were both working for Tribune Company at the
Where
time.
are you based out of?
LA. I had just moved to LA and almost the first thing
Did
they did was send me up to Vancouver.
because it was KTLA. It was airing on KTLA Andromeda.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I worked for the syndicate division of Tribune Company.
So did you
So
spend
yeah.
any time in Chicago as well?
No, actually. Well, I think I visited the office there once.
You know, it's one of the biggest disappointments because we were the number one show in the first run syndication, and they
Yeah,
had to freeze all their assets when they went into bankruptcy in 2005.
I remember it well.
It
We
was
changed
so
our
sad.
offices. We went to somewhat less luxurious offices at
Oh,
that point. Yeah.
so you didn't work with Dick Askin. You had nothing to do with him, right?
Mm-mm. No, 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 no.
All right. Well, I missed that series, but I love the show. We had a blast on that series up there. We had such a good time.
Well, you have such a different career now. Did it kind of almost begin with What If, or how did that transition happen?
I'm gonna go back. I gotta tell you, if Hercules was huge, we became the most watched show in the world, 176 countries. Even though it's mythological, and the writers both back at Universal Studios put a lot of moral messages in there. They were there, even though it was a mythological show. And I think if they did that show today in today's woke insanity, it'd be a completely different show, unfortunately. But it really
Yeah.
a little bit with a movie I did with Hallmark. In 2007, I think 2008, I did a movie called Avenging Angel, which was I play a pastor in it that becomes a bounty hunter when his wife and daughter are killed by some bad guys. He goes on the Avenger. It's like an outlaw
I'm sorry, that doesn't with Hallmark Channel or Hallmark Hall of Fame?
Hallmark Channel.
Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
Golly, times have changed.
Yes. And it was sort of like outlaw Josie Wales sort of feel to it. But as he does all these things for revenge over his wife and child's death, he realizes this isn't the godly way to go through life.
Ah,
Kind of planted the seed, but what if really changed things for me? What if and God's Not Dead combined? The
mm-hmm.
Chuck and Carrie did both of those together. But in my book, What If is a better movie. And I tell people, I've done over 90 movies. What If is in my top three. Top three. Dallas sent me that script. At the time, we were friends. His wife and my same kids, same age. We were living in LA. We have since have escaped. I live in the free state of Florida. He's in the free state of Texas. So, but I read
And
that.
I'm still in LA. Alas.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Uh, it's an
um,
adventure. Let's put it
they've
that
wrecked a
way.
great state, is all I got to say. But we
Yeah.
were ready to leave a long
The
time.
weather is amazing.
The weather's amazing. I
Yeah.
missed my home in Westlake Village. It was wonderful. But
Yeah.
when I read What If, and I told Dallas, I'm playing Pastor Ben. He says, I can't afford you. And I said, I'm playing this part. I'm playing it. I loved it. I loved it was such a great movie. God's Not Dead, loved that movie as well. God's Not Dead exploded. But my book, What If, is better. And I'm hoping with this re-release, this is my what if to have this movie come back out there again. And thank you, Dallas, for helping bring this movie back again. I talk about it all the time. My speaking events, I do a dozen to 15 speaking events a year for the last 13, 14 years of my life. I talk about this movie all the time, no matter what, whether it's pro-life, Christian education, motivation. I bring up this movie. I put it in all my speaking somehow because I love this movie. I love the road of redemption that's in this movie. And so I'm grateful that we're doing this again. And I think there's a reason for it. So I hope every religious leader in the world tells their congregation to support this movie like you did God's Not Dead. Because if we do that, the 2 days we have right now, Fathom, get
Hmm.
more dates. It'll stay out there. And that's what kept God's Not Dead going. But
Yep.
this movie, to me, I said, this is the road God wants me on. Uh, Pastor Ben gets that opportunity, the character I played, to be on the road that he figures this road was supposed to be on. Same thing for me. I said, I'm going to do movies like this. I want to do movies that have hope and love and redemption and laughter. Movies that Hollywood used to do. Hollywood doesn't want to do them
Yep.
anymore, but they're waking up. I'm telling you, there's a tipping point right now. In the last year, through Sorbo Studios and the Irwin brothers, those guys, we're all getting approached now to get to send scripts to Amazon, Netflix, that have a faith message in them. So they're waking up slowly, but surely they're waking up.
Of course, one of the main reasons this movie is back is because The Chosen has become a
Yeah.
legitimate show, forget faith for a
Yeah.
moment, show business phenomenon. And now
Sure.
I see it covered and Dallas covered like
Yeah. Of
anyone else would be in all of the trades, which
Yeah.
has been an interesting progression to watch.
Course.
And to the point where it could not be ignored, and the size of the audience couldn't be ignored, the potential could not be ignored.
Yep.
So everybody now is wondering, can we get a piece of this? Because this looks like something worth doing in a show business that's pretty shaky right now in general.
Yeah. And look how long it took them to jump on board with that. I mean, really, after the first season, it was a
It's
hit.
not their world.
No, I
You
know.
know, it's not their,
It's
it
not the
had
world. Hey,
bust
but I got to
through.
tell you, I directed a
Yeah.
movie my wife wrote called Let There Be Light. Stayed in theaters for a few months. It's a very good movie. We opened number 2 per screen average against that $300 million Thor Ragnarok. Okay. I got a call from Netflix. This is back in 2018. I get a call from Netflix Monday after opening weekend saying, we want to start an inspirational division with you running it. So I go into Netflix, and I was still living in LA over there in their beautiful building over there in Hollywood. And I had 4 meetings over 4 months with them. And ultimately, I couldn't get them to budge. The other ones were all enthusiastic, meeting number 1. 2 was a little less. 3, and I finally looked at them at the 4th one. I said, guys, you brought me in. There's
Yeah.
80 million homes that want to see this. And I know that half in this room probably agree with me, but you're too afraid to speak up because we live in this whole fear factor. And if you're a Christian or a conservative in Hollywood, oh my gosh, that's kryptonite to them. And I said, there's 80 million homes, and yet your ideology is so crazy and so hell-bent on anger towards people like me, which is so childish to me. It's such
Yeah.
a seventh grade mean girl sort of thing, I think. And people need to wake up, and they're starting to wake up now. But this is back 7 years ago, and ultimately they did nothing. And I thought, well, that we put a crack in that shell at least a little bit because they came and reached out to me. And I was excited, but I just thought, okay, this is what they want to do for now. But it's opening up. And Dallas, with The Chosen, because he was ready to give it all up. He was frustrated. But he
Mm-hmm.
calls me up about 6 months ago and said, we rewatched this show, What If? My kids, it's their favorite movie of everything I've done. They like it more than The Chosen. And I said, I've always loved it, Dallas, because he wants to make a TV series out of it, which who knows? He's busy with it.
Ah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. He's
Yeah.
definitely on a
Well,
roll.
yeah. So we'll
Now is
see.
the time to think about those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
exactly. But when they decided to re-release it, I said, "This is heaven sent." I've always wanted people to see this movie. This is a chance now for it to get the opportunity that it deserved.
Now that you've done all of these faith-based movies and you
Right.
have a pretty deep experience in the genre,
Hmm.
plus an experience from the secular genre,
Sure.
what do you want to say to people who want to incorporate faith, not just in niche films, but in all sorts of different projects? What have you learned from the audience and from all of these years that how to do this in a way that works not just for the core people in the pew audience, but works for the broader audience where the real money can be made?
Well, I think a lot of people that are in the agnostic world and certainly the atheist world don't want to be preached to. I look at a movie like Blindside as a perfect example of a wonderful movie that has a message in there, even though people think it's a good sports movie at the same time. So to me, it's like keep doing movies. Don't preach to the people. That's the biggest thing that turns them off. They get negative about it right away. And you go
Mm.
if you're a person of faith and say, hey, you want to come to my church? There's church people there. I don't want to go there. But to say, hey, you want to go see a movie? It's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a screening of What If at my house, and I invited some friends over. They're friends, and they're agnostic and atheist. Not gonna name names because a couple of them are pretty well-known actors, and you'll know who they are. But I'm not gonna name them. And they said after the movie, they went, "It's a really good movie." I'm not a Christian, but that's just a good movie.
Yep.
So and I get people stop me all the time in airports, hotel lobbies, all the time. It's not Hercules or Andromeda. It's
Right.
it's God's not dead. It's let there be light. It's Miracle in East Texas. That's when people stop me. They say, please keep making more movies like this. We're with you, man. We know that people attack you from your conservative and Christian points of view. But I get stopped by people that are agnostic or atheists saying, hey, I saw that movie. Pretty good, man. I don't think the way you do, but I love that movie. It's a good message. People are starting to wake up. They're realizing that,
Yep.
we live in this medium right here, this whole internet thing, which is the Wild West. There's so much anger and hate out there. But I'm doing movies that those people filled with so much hate and anger that don't even like themselves. And they want to express that anger onto you and everybody else and drag, misery loves company, right? They want to drag us down that world with them. I hope we can pray for people like that. And I hope they take the time to go look at a movie like What If, because it shows that there is redemption, no matter how bad you are or how much you have anger and hate and just blackness in your heart, that there is light at the end of that tunnel. You just have to want to look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm going to open up a little bit and see if there's something else out there instead of just being filled with all this anger and hate every day. Because if you have that, that leads to so many problems in your life. It leads to so many physical problems and health problems and mental problems. And people are looking for something more. And I think movies like this will give that to them.
Well, what if has been described as the flip side of It's a Wonderful Life?
Sure.
Yeah, which wasn't a big hit, but became an acknowledged classic. But
Yep.
no one would really describe It's a Wonderful Life as a faith-based movie, but it kind of is.
It is. Well, look,
So is
he's
that the
praying.
secret? Like
He,
if that's not the first thing that comes to people's mind, it's there, but they're caught up in the story as a whole, and then they kind of get it along with everything else.
well, if you look at that movie, which I love them, we watch it every year. It's a Wonderful Life. He's at that bridge ready to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
He's praying to God.
Yep.
What does God do? He sends his angel to save his life, to let this guy know, you know what? You want to see the world, what it'll be like without you in it? Then you're going to see it. And this is the reverse that way because I like the road I'm on.
Yep.
They bring me to a road that I'm kicking and screaming, what the hell? Why am I here?
You're
And
living the life, as
and
it were.
Exactly. And John Ratzenberger's character, who did such a great job, and he's so funny in this movie. He says, look, God gave you free will, but you got to give this a shot. You got to really see at the end of it when you go, oh, okay, I get it. All right. But I want to go back to that life. Free will, go back to it. So to get a what, we all want what ifs. If people said they've never had a what if in their life, they're lying. And you're going to have many of them in your life. What if I took that job? What if I married that person? What if I did that? I mean, we all have what ifs. Well, we'll never know. Here's a supernatural movie with a spiritual message in it, but it's not in your face. It's
Yep.
there. You get to see it. You go, okay, you still have free will. You want to go back to that life, you can. But there's so many better ways we can live our life right now. And I hate what Hollywood's doing, what they're doing. I hate what our government does in so many ways. I hate what this negativity that's out there. Our education system, what they're doing, our universities, what they're doing. It's crazy. It's crazy. When I see college students say queers for Hamas, I'm going, do you know what Hamas would do to you with that lifestyle? Seriously? That's like, hey, we're blacks. We're for the KKK. It's crazy what we're doing out there. And I'm grateful to be part of this world. I'm not a perfect person in any way. Trust me. And I have to ask for forgiveness every bloody day. But that's why Jesus came here to save our souls. And I've always been a Christian. I've never been not a perfect one. There was a long time in my 20s I didn't attend church. I went out golfing on Sundays. But
Not the least bit unusual in your 20s.
yeah, but I'll tell you, I prayed every day. I prayed every day. It wasn't for me. I mean, I was always praying for family members or people I knew that were hurting, their friends. I didn't sit there and please God, let me have that role. When I went to read, I would say, please God, let me give a good reading. If they pick me, they pick me. If they don't, they don't. I never prayed for, let me have that lottery ticket. I would just pray for a peace under me when I got in there because there's so much competition in Hollywood. I remember first going out there in every room I walked in there, every guy pretty much
Looks exactly like
like me.
you.
Oh yeah. It's just
You're like,
okay.
I thought I was unique.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. I just got to a point. I said, let me just go in there and give a good reading. I went through what every actor went through when I first got out there. I'd be chewing on my steering wheel in a 405. I go, why did I do it that way? And then once I stopped doing that, I started working. I just said, it was a let go and let God situation was it was for me.
Of course, once you start working in faith-based films,
Yeah.
you realize that the faith-based audience has very strong opinions too.
Oh, of course I do.
And sometimes they don't like if you take a risk in a story, or if the people in the story are scuffed up and less than perfect, or maybe they say a bad word, or maybe they do a questionable
Yeah.
thing. And you're just sometimes it's hard, I think, to tell a really good story within parameters. So where do you think those parameters should be? And should the
Well,
audience every now and then say, okay, maybe this movie's a little rougher than I expected, but wow, it's telling a super compelling story, and that's the way life is.
well, everybody's a critic, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
cracks me up when people say, "Well, I like that movie, but I thought this was the problem with that, the problem with it." And I'm like, "Oh, well, then go make your own movie." It's like that song, Ricky Nelson, right? You can't please everyone, because you just got to
Got to
please
please
yourself.
yourself.
So I just went. I said, you know what? Overall, and I'm not going to name names here. I've had other independent producers say, "Well, I kind of didn't like that movie because of this reason," and I'm like going, "Okay, I don't want to just preach to the choir, okay? I want the choir to support my movies, but I want to touch those out there that are hurting. People out there that have hate and anger in their lives. People out there that have, we all have problems, but you're not,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to please everybody." And I had a guy tell me one time, he goes, "You better never screw up one, you better never screw up." I go, "When you screw up," he goes, "Well, then the Christians never forgive you." And that made me sad because I know there are people like that in
Yeah,
the world.
I've
Then
heard that too.
where
Yeah.
where show me a perfect Christian for crying out loud, you know? So it's like, give me a break with this attitude that if I screw up, they'll never let you back in their club. And I go, well,
I'm
that's fine.
sorry. If men were angels, we wouldn't need Jesus.
That's right. Exactly. But you know what? I don't worry about it. It's so funny. I've had people tell me, even when I did Hercules, I remember people coming up and they going, he goes, "Well, you should have done this and then should have done that and should have." I go, "Well, then why don't you go find some funds and do your own Hercules?" You know, so it is what it is. I just most of the movies I do, I think they're fun and redemptive and have a positive value to them. And I try to do a lot of true story ones. I've got 4 new movies coming out this year. 2 are secular, but they're comedies, and the other 2 are faith-based, based on real life, real people stories. And then the other 3 documentaries are just wonderful documentaries that deal with the Bible. And I hope people will support those too.
Well, you'll never be bored.
No, staying
Well,
busy.
thank you so much for taking the time.
All right.
And I'd say take it easy, but I don't think you will.
No, I won't.
No,
I got 3 more movies lined up this year. In fact, Dean Cain and I are filming one together starting next
love
week.
it.
It's a
Superman and Hercules.
it's a
Yeah,
comedy faith-based
love it. Love it.
golf story. It's very funny.
Love it.